Alright, that video stopped itself. My camera's been doing that a lot lately. So I was going to quick burn through the instructions, which is something I normally do not do, but in this case I was going to. And I was so impressed. This is like a really sweet booklet. It came with like the nicest booklet. It's really thick and nicely printed. Very good explanation of everything. Manufacture date, serial number, location. I can't wait to check all that out. But it's quite the manual. Product weight 117 pounds. There's a good 40 pounds of cardboard that came with it. 3/4 horse. That's kind of a big thing. So in researching these, there are many different kinds, of course, and different horsepowers. And this was the last one that was under $1,000. Anything like one horse was immediately up to a grand if it was a Jet or a Delta or a Grizzly. So 3/4, most of them were like less, a half or less. Half horsepower or less is like the common. And then the smaller ones, I don't even know what those ones are. The ones that you always see, the 4x36 with the 6-inch disc. They're like $100. I've never even really used or seen one. We have one very, very close to this at work, and that's what kind of possessed me to get it. The one we have at work's a beast. It's very similar to this, and it is quite the piece of equipment, except it's a Porter cable, but it's very, very similar to this. But anyway, it is a 110. You can get it 220. I elected for 110. I do have 220 down here, but I still went with 110. And that's another nice thing. I don't have 220 in my garage, but at least I have it down here. A 9-inch disc, 6x48 sanding paper. There's a miter. There's a dust pourer, made in Taiwan. I can kind of tell when I was opening it, it just had that, I don't know how to explain it, an overseas feel, a very overseas feel to it. Everything is very, very greasy, like it was gonna be traveling the ocean or something. Approximate setup time, 1.5 hours. ISO factory, no it is not. Certified National Recognized Laboratory, no it is not. Features 2-inch dust port for belt and 2.5-inch dust port for disc. Quick belt release. That was another big option with these. Most of them you would have to actually disassemble some stuff to change the belt. Once you get into the quick change, they immediately jumped in price considerably. So that was one big thing, a quick change belt. That's apparently a feature that you're gonna pay for. The Jets and the Deltas, you know, they have the lower end ones, $200-300, and then they're $1,000 ones that you just pull a lever. Sturdy steel stand, graphite coated platen. The platen is probably the smooth part that the belt travels on. Cast iron table, single knob tracking. Work table mounts for use on disc or belt. Work table mounts for use on disc or belt. Oh, that was for the, okay, so that was the other one. That was the one that's on a metal stand. I just read all the wrong stuff. I just read everything on this. This is the other one, 148 pounds, which makes more sense. That's more like what it felt like. It is 30 wide, 24 deep, 56 inches tall. A 15x16 footprint. 110 volts, blah, 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 yeah, single phase. Most of this we already know, 3/4 horse. So it's all pretty much the same except for the weight. Power supply and all that. Hardware recognition. Mission chart. Interesting. Should look through and make sure everything's here. There's a couple things I do not remember seeing, like O, for example. Short lever, 4.5 inches long. What is N? Quick release lever stud. Support table rod. That's the support table rods there. The other two I didn't remember seeing. I'm tangled. I'm always tangled. Okay, there they are. They are right there. Okay, good, good. Good. Crap. I don't know how to do it. Gather the following disposable rags: cleaner, degreaser, some WD-40, safety glasses, disposable gloves, and a paint scraper. And it says to soak it and clean all that crap off of it first. I'll have to put the feet on the cabinet. It appears that the feet have to go on it. I'll pause it and do all that. Level it out. And there are fastening screws. And it appears I'll, have to fasten it from the inside of the cabinet. Blah, blah, blah. Idle roller. Alright, I guess the first step is actually fastening this to the cabinet. I'm going to pause you for that because I will probably grunt and God only knows what else. That thing is wicked heavy. And I don't want to burn up all my time here, so I'm trying to keep it short. Hopefully don't stop itself again, this piece of crap. But I am going to try and get it around the cabinet. Okay, well, pausing it every 30 seconds and doing stuff is probably the worst way in the world to do an unboxing video. But all I really did so far was screw on the 4 rubber feet, which are very unadjustable. Like, there doesn't appear to be any adjustment to them. I figured there would be. And hauling that heavy SOB up on top, that was fun. I didn't want to really videotape that. I wasn't sure how that was gonna go, quite frankly. There are 4 holes in the cast in the corners. It's thick and solid, and there's holes drilled in there for the bolt to probably thread into. I don't exactly know. I should have probably checked which bolts are the ones. I'm going to assume it's these. Why is there an Allen wrench though? Whoopsie. There's 4 of them. And no nuts. So yeah, I bet these are the ones. I lost a washer somewhere. True dog fashion. I'm already missing a part. Yeah, I somehow lost one of the washers. I only have 3. Good Lord. That is just so me. There's really no way to tip this to see what's going on. You have to maybe stick your head right up in there to line this all up. Which I believe I may have to do. I am pretty close. Got lucky with the placement. There we go. Yeah, I don't know how I managed to have this lined up right off the bat. Got lucky on that. It's kind of hard to do blind. Not be lined up either. Need a flashlight too. Oh, I still got my safety glasses on from work. That's where the control box is. That's where it's a control. It's lined up pretty good. It's gotta come up just a scooch. That's right where like the box is. I was fussing. I couldn't get it in. Where the hell are you? Having a hard time with stuff. I lost all the feeling in my fingertips. It sucks. I'm hoping it comes back. Long story, I don't want to get into it. Makes feeling around for stuff difficult, though, I'll tell you that. Comes in handy for some stuff. Come on now. It's a very tricky lining that one up. The box is right in the way. Try another one. Well, I don't know if I should burn up 15-20 minutes of video fussing with that, so I'm just going to pause it and struggle with this. I'll be back. Okay, all I really did there was get the 4 bolts into the bottom, that screw into there, and it was really not that hard at all. I noticed the shelf, all the paint and powder coating is chipped off the shelf pretty badly. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it probably happened bouncing around on the way here or something. No big deal. All right. Now the wheel, install the idler. Install the thumb nut washer each side of the sander behind the idler roller. Install the idler roller in the flat spot slots. Okay. Idler roller, what bolts, what hardware wheel? The thumb screws and a washer. Oh my God, it's ice cold. They dropped this off on my way to work, so it wasn't supposed to be here till after the 15th. And just as I hit the parking lot, I get a phone call from a number I don't recognize, which I normally don't answer. And oddly, I did. I don't know why. I normally would not do that. And it was a friggin' truck driver saying, "Are you home?" No, I'm just getting to work. I was like, "Oh, I got your package." Well, let me see, I'm doing something wrong here. goes on after. Let me look at that. So they actually, it's like came on a pallet. It's just sitting in there. How is it just sitting in there? And it sat in my driveway, which didn't exactly thrill me. I mean, I'm in a very, very safe neighborhood, but I still didn't want it sitting in my driveway in case it rained or something. And I am not seeing where these thumb screws even go into. That doesn't make sense to me. Oh, that's the tracking. That's cool. That's a cool tracking system. I should have videotaped that. Okay, I am missing a step here. Something's got to get screwed in there, and I don't know what. It's not showing. Okay, well, these instructions jump around a bit. They're not the best. But I think these hold one of the plates on. You need to have these on first. And this one doesn't fit. Why would this not fit? It's weird that there's two holes in this side. One's not all the way through. Why would that be? There may be different size. There are 4 altogether, these little thumb screws, and perhaps they're different sizes. They are. That is indeed the case. Okay. There are 4 of these, and 2 big and 2 small. These 4mm X wrench to back of the shaft set screws the cast iron plate out of the hole in keyway. So there's a keyway, 2 of them actually, that's cool. 2's good. Back it out, or at least make sure it's not hitting. You don't have to probably back it all the way out, just make sure it's clear. And if it's showing in any little way, it won't clear. It's a very tight tolerance with these. I feel like I missed something in the directions. That's kind of strange. That is awfully strange. It didn't even go into half of that. Right after I was singing the praises of what a great looking manual that was. Okay, that's pretty cool. Belt driven. It's a pretty stout little belt. Keyway shafts. Very, what I would call, very common textbook, universal type setup. The pulleys, the shafts, the keyways are all very common. That's good. That is the stuff I see at work like on a daily basis, so I know it's very common stuff, which will make replacing it or working on it easier. Try and line this up. Just like at work. This shit at work all the time where it's a very tight ass, there's always very tight tolerances. And even something like some of this powder coating, which is part of the problem right now, gets in there. Even the slightest little bit of powder coating or paint will be enough, but this will not want to seat. much room to get your hand back in there to get the set screw. I should have maybe cleaned it. It's not going on that good. Oh no. Okay, so here's the dealio. There's a little bit of the powder coat in there, and it's making it not want to seat right. So I'm actually going to take some emery cloth and clean this up so it seats. Bear with me. Okay, so there's a little bit of schmoo that was in both the hole and on the shaft. It almost looks like it's dried up grease or something that's been sitting forever. Here's some of it here. And this is exactly what the grease at work that hasn't been greased in 5 years looks like. It dries up like this, just like that. And the powder coat, and it's probably this crap, whatever they sprayed this with to keep it from rusting on its journey to its new home with Dougie. So I'm not going to town on it. I'm just kind of lightly cleaning it up. I don't want to, be removing metal or sanding the ever-loving crap out of it. I just want to clean it up a little. See if that's enough. I may have to go a second time. It's quite ready yet. I don't feel like I should be having to do this, but whatever that shit is like dried up on here. It's almost like plasticky or waxy. Properly made, these clearances are always extremely tight. I deal with this at work on a daily basis pretty much. And if this stuff's not completely clean, it'll never go on. You'll be fighting it. Getting it off's usually even harder. I guarantee this is not the right thing to be doing, but it's being so stubborn. Good Lord. Oh, it could be because I'm doing it backwards too. That's a very good possibility. That is a very good possibility. I am an idiot, but we've established that a long time ago. And it's not going in this way much easier. I cleaned out the wrong fucking side. I was trying to get it on. I do not want to get a rubber mallet. That will upset me. Probably could try and grease it. I can't believe I was trying to put it on backwards though. But that's because I show how freaking tired I am. Yeah, that is not cooperating. But I was doing the wrong side, so I bet you this will help. I didn't really focus on this side properly. I think this should help. I'm actually going to take a file or a Dremel, clean this thing up hardcore, but I should not have to do that. certain. Probably use like sandpaper, emery cloth, grab your girlfriend's nail file, those cardboard emery nail files. I don't even know grease down here. I wish I had a little bit of grease. Do I have grease down here? You know what? I kind of do, actually. I was all out of frame there. But you know, it said to hit it with some parts cleaner and clean this thing up, or WD-40. It didn't say parts cleaner, it said WD-40. And there is this layer of crap. I don't know. It's just really weird. It's not. It's like dried grease. I don't know what the hell it is, but I believe that's probably a big part of why they want you to clean this all off and get all that crap off of these tight clearances. And that locked, that stopped. Extremely positive. That was weird. This is a really messed up fit. Me, you know, just to be sure, back these all the way out. I shouldn't have to, but okay, it's completely out. I have to turn back in. And this one I can clearly see is way the hell out already. So that is not the keyways, or the set screws, I mean. Huh. It just stops, locks. It very positively stops, and I know it's not seated all the way. I'll be back. I'm gonna go get a fucking rubber mallet. Oh yeah. Yeah, that sucked. So, I just spent, I don't know, 45 minutes trying to get this disc on. It wasn't gonna go. All the beating and bashing in the world would not get that thing to go on. And I have literally been sitting here grinding, sanding, honing. I've took every piece of graded sandpaper I've got, all my files, a couple honing stones, some deburring bits. I've literally been at it for 45 minutes. And it still barely went on. So it's fairly disappointing. I will say, in Grizzly's favor, they used extremely hard steel in their components. The file doesn't lie. The file wouldn't even touch it. It barely took off any material. Scraping with the file as hard as I could, barely even put a scratch in there. And that was part of the problem. And the casting on this cast iron wheel is bad. The casting is not very good, and it needs to be. I go through this kind of crap at work a lot. The tolerances are so tight that if any little thing is off, it's just a nightmare. And like I said, I didn't think it was gonna go. I mean, after all that, it's still barely going on there. It's not on all the way. That's as far as I could get it to go. And it's also rubbing, like it's rubbing. I didn't bend or hit this at all. And it's rubbing, so that's kind of strange. I didn't whack this whatsoever. So yeah, something isn't quite right. But it's on there. I mean, I thought I was gonna have to take it to work and put it in either the mill or chuck it in the lathe and bore that out. But I was, pretty disappointed that your average homeowner is not gonna be able to do that. I just happen to have a whole crap load of machinist tools. I guarantee you, your average DIYer is not gonna be able to do that. But I guess I'm on to step 3. I don't know. I just lost some confidence with that. It just shouldn't have been that hard. So I don't know. It took me that long to get past step 2. Yeah. There should be a gap in there of a 1/16 of an inch, and it's actually touching. Yeah, and they're not saying crap about it, like not fitting at all. Yeah, and I'm sure they want it to be a tight fit, but no. So I did get the set screws in. Again, it's rubbing right here, and